Okay, here we are. This is episode 2 of our Myleague series. We're going to go ahead and start loading it up. We have taken over the Seattle Supersonics. We've done the draft, and so now we're going to be looking at our coach, our front office, different things that we got going on there. So our staff right now, as you can see, you don't really get to choose early on. It just kind of gives you um, different people. Mylan Mack is our head coach, and we have a 4-year deal with him. I'll be honest, I'd love to, be able to sign our own coaches. I don't like the fact that even though you create the expansion team, you don't get to hire anybody that you would want to try and hire. They just automatically fill these spots. So where you're kind of stuck with who you have unless you want to make changes. Um, and I don't know who all would be good candidates here. As far as head coach, um, I enjoy a more up-tempo game. I really like Stouffer. There's a lot of times I'd be like, I'd like to get a guy that's more of a name, but as you can tell, we really don't have a lot of that right now. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to stick with what we have, even though I'd love to go after Stouffer. I think we're just going to stick with what we have right now. After this year, we get to go after a new assistant general manager, so I'm not sure, if there's someone that'd be better suited to be your assistant GM, but we're just going to stick with that. As far as coaching for all teams, I tend to stick with a 30-minute for the starter, 18-minute for the bench type of situation. With our power forwards, we kind of have a interesting situation with Marvin Williams and Jermichael Green. So I gave our starter 2 minutes less, and then gave Green and Williams each 10 minutes. Boban's going to get 20 minutes a game off the bench as a center. So since our centers were pretty close in the same ability, and Boban's got one of the best PER stats and one of the top 10 all time, give him 20 minutes a game, he may actually become something special. So we are going to head straight. I don't worry too much about any of the training or development. I figure everything's going to kind of go the way it's supposed to. So we're going to let the player training go straight with the trainer. I usually let the scouting happen. You have all these wonderful, we're using a 2020 draft picks, so the guys that are up for the draft this coming year are the guys that are, our draft potential there. So that's where we're at right now. So we're going to go and we're going to basically look at the first, the season starts on December the 7th. We are going to go all the way through the first, I don't know. Let's do the first 6 weeks for sure. 1 week, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's go straight to this game right here and go through the January. We'll do the first 6 weeks of the season. All we're going to do is we're going to simulate through real quick. If any decisions have to be made, we'll deal with it. But remember, we're hoping not to fall on our face here. So here we go. It's not good to see a loss to the Bulls on opening night, but okay, the trade. Kennard. I am never going to give up Iguodala for Kennard. I'm not a Kennard fan anyway, so we will decline that trade. Beat the Suns. We have a 3-2 record early on. That's not bad. So we swept. We've got 2 games already against the Suns we won. Okay, now Boban strains his back. Of course, he's not used to 20 minutes a game, and he's no spring chicken either. People don't tend to realize that he's been around for a while. But I'm going to leave the rotation as is. I'm not big on load management. I figure if you're paid to play, you're going to play. So that's where we're at. Prospect counting, basically we're going to we're going to always have the I'm going to let the scout just handle the scouting and scout everybody. Andre Iguodala strained his left MCL, and but he can still play. So I'm going to leave the rotation as is and hope it doesn't get worse over these next few days. But basically, having 7 days off will probably help that quite a bit. I am not going to give up Taj Gibson, even though he's a second-round draft pick. Just not going to do that yet. We're still above 500, which surprises me. A lot of road games early on. Boban is now fully healed. That's always good to see. We've beaten New Orleans. Let's stop the losing streak. We're still 500. Another expansion team beats us in the surf. Now, the only thing good that means is our draft pick's going to rise. Interesting. Marvin Williams sprains his left ankle. It's day to day, so we're going to go ahead and leave as is because there's a couple of days off after that. Alright, so the Lakers want to trade with us. They want Taj Gibson. They're willing to give us, this is interesting here. We give up a second-round pick and Taj Gibson. We take on Quinn Cook, but we get a first-round draft pick. The thing is, it's the Lakers. It's not going to be a top whatever draft pick. It's just not. So I'm going to decline that trade. So we are a couple weeks away, I think, from our period of time. Porter Jr. and Marvin Williams for... No, I don't want Steven Adams. I already got centers. So Iguodala's healed up. That's good. We're now a losing team, even though we just got done beating Dallas. So here we are now. I'm going to go ahead and sim 4 more days, simply because that'll give us 20 games into the season. And maybe glad I did now that we ended up beating both Boston and Charlotte, and now we're 9-11. So let's look at the team status right now. As you'll see through this 6.5 week period, we've opened the season. We're 9-11, 4-7 away, 5-4 at home. We're in the Western Conference. As you can tell, the 8 teams that would be in the playoffs in the West, I'm kind of surprised the Lakers are not listed there. I don't know what's happened with them, but for whatever reason, we don't see them listed, so that's kind of a surprise. So let's see how we're dealing with the stats for our players. Porter's averaging 17.5 points, 7 boards. That's not bad. Patrick Patterson's been solid. Yogi Ferrell with 11 points, and he's getting 3.5 boards and 4 assists a game. That one's really interesting for me. Boban with 10 points, 8 boards, and nearly a block a game off the bench. What more could you ask for out of him? Gary Payton getting 8 points and 6 boards and nearly 3 assists a game. So that's pretty nice as well. The league leader so far, Doncic, is averaging 37 points a game, but he's injured right now. Trae Young is 36 a game, so as you can see, there's a lot of great scorers going on. LeBron's averaging 28.7 points and 7 boards, 9 assists, and wow, 1.6 and 1.0. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're all actually doing. Overall league standings in the West, there's the Lakers. They're just out of the playoffs at 13-10. They're only a half game out of the playoffs. And it's probably because they lost their last game. If we just looked at this at the exact 6-week mark, they were probably in the playoff race. So that's interesting. The bottom record, Kansas City's 3-19. Golden State surprisingly 16 losses despite being healthy. Phoenix 14 losses. The Surfer ahead of them. That's kind of interesting. Vegas is 11-13. Over in the East, Brooklyn's 22-4. As you can see, everybody else is kind of falling in line under that. Down at the bottom, the Knicks are 3-21. The Storm are 3-19, and the Pacers and Pistons are both a lot worse than what you expect. So, one thing you will notice is the expansion teams. We added 6 teams, and only one of them went to the Eastern Conference. It looks like 2. Virginia 3-19, and then of course Pittsburgh 8-14. The other expansion teams, there's 3 of them right there: Vegas, Seattle, San Diego, and then the last one is Kansas City. So 4 out of the 6 expansion teams ended up in the Western Conference, and New Orleans got shifted over from the West to the East because technically they're slightly more East than Kansas City, which is why I figured Kansas City would go to the East, but New Orleans is going to be in the East. So that's how that is right now. So that's kind of where things are standing right now. I don't... right now it's telling us that we got those expiring contracts, which is pretty good. We've got $34 million in cap space. I'm not sure what we could actually look for right now. I don't know what is out there as far as the other teams that are out there. Let's see if there's any good possible trades out there on the waiver wire or anything like that. People have got players out there that they're trying to get rid of or anything like that. I wonder who we could possibly try to get from other teams, possibly to give them a chance. I'd honestly love to get a really superstar power forward or something like that. I'm not sure who we could possibly get. I'd love to. I still can't believe Conley Anthony here in Vegas. There's the reason that once again Golden State is struggling, as Curry is aggravated an injury or something, and so he's been out. That's kind of disappointing. I just don't know. Who could we go after? I do want to try to make a run at somebody that we might be able to make a deal for. It's just something about trying to... I'd love to try and find a way to get John Morant. I don't know. You think Atlanta would give him Collins? I don't know. Perhaps. I'm going to add him to the target list. I'm also going to add John Morant to the target list. See what we could possibly do there. Also, I think Bam Adebayo would be good to add. Adebayo. I can't pronounce his name. I'm terrible at that. So that's what I'm going to do with those. And that's where we're at right now. I think right now, if you had to look at the award races, Doncic, despite being injured, is your top MVP candidate with Jokic, Giannis, Chris Paul, and Trae Young. Trae Young lighting it up at 36 a game. So that's not surprising there. Rookie of the Year, of course, none of these guys actually exist because, quite frankly, they added a rookie class for this season without knowing who's going to be where. So, and they wouldn't let us do an off-season draft. So we don't really. To me, the Rookie of the Year is kind of a joke for this. This is going to be nothing. Sixth Man of the Year, Satoransky, surprisingly leading that. I'm not sure, but Spencer Dinwiddie's probably going to end up making a real run for it by the end of the year. Giannis is your Defensive Player of the Year right now with LeBron and Kawhi all right there close. It's really strange to see the Lakers at 13-10 when they've got the number 2 and number 4 ranked guy for Defensive Player of the Year playing together. It's kind of strange. Most Improved, well, when you get Porter Jr. and Yogi Ferrell both being ranked in the Most Improved Player category, and I really think it's because they've been getting 30 minutes a game in the starting lineup. So you give them a chance, and they've really come forward. Sadaransky, who right now would be your, one of your other six-man award winner. He's in there. Nicola Melli, he's 17.5 points a game, nearly 5 rebounds for Kansas City. So, I mean, you're seeing a lot of these things that are going on. Shaquille Harrison, some of these just, the guys that are going to be up for this are guys that are getting minutes, and they're getting minutes because it's a brand new situation for them with these expansion teams. So that's kind of been good. So that's where we're at right now. I just see, when you see the playoff possibilities, it looks really good right now. I mean, I like where we're at. We're only 3 games out of the playoffs. We're only 2 games under 500. Those are the 3 guys that I'm kind of keying on. So we'll see how it goes. As you can see, the next few games are going to be pretty interesting. Seem to be pretty split between home and away games. And the Sixers, the Sixers are 10 games over 500. If they can manage to find a way to beat Philadelphia in this next game at home, they could still wrangle some noise in the Eastern Conference. So that's where the Western Conference. That's where the Sonics are right now. 6.5 weeks into the season, we're going to see what kind of possibilities we have moving forward, and we'll see another edition of this next week.